Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a video on Sharon Osbourne. Just going to give you a little bit of an update on her. Who is she? Sharon Osbourne, former host of the show The Talk. And I want to say it's been a couple of seasons now since she's been fired from the show. And the reason why she was fired is because her and Cheryl Underwood one day live on the show kind of got into this confrontation because Sharon was defending her friend Piers Morgan, who was saying that the interview that Oprah did with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, he had some really, I'm going to say, derogatory and crazy comments that Piers Morgan said about the interview. And Sharon Osbourne, since she is his friend and she knew him as a friend, was pretty much defending him. Her and Cheryl Underwood got into it on the show. As a result, Sharon was labeled as racist, homophobic, and a whole slew of other, pretty nasty, disgusting things. I'm going to say a couple of things before I get into the update, about her with you. First of all, I'd like to say this. Sharon was defending her friend Piers Morgan, but the odd and crazy thing is we never heard him come forward and say anything in Sharon's defense since she got fired and since she went through all of the backlash on everything that would happen. So my thing is just a public service announcement to everyone. Be careful who you defend, whether you consider them a friend or not. Would they do the same for you? So like I said, she went through all of these trials and tribulations as a result of just trying to defend him. And look where it got her. And the firing is the least of her problems and worries. I'm about to get into everything she went through as a result of that entire situation. So we'll continue on here. It says, in months since exiting The Talk, Sharon Osbourne developed anxiety that led her to seek out therapy in the form of ketamine treatments. The former talk show host said on Monday. It's interesting that they're doing some ketamine treatments. We'll get into that a little bit more. But let me go back and tell you, this article is coming from people.com, okay? And it's titled, Sharon Osbourne says she underwent ketamine therapy after leaving The Talk amid the whole controversy. So anyway, and ketamine is unfortunately what was laced, I want to say, in that actor that recently passed away. And something, drugs that he was taking, ketamine was kind of laced in it. So it's interesting that, under a doctor's supervision, how one drug can help you, but in the wrong situation, that same drug can kill you. But anyway, Osbourne said that she went through some ketamine treatments, and she's 68 years old, and she left The Talk in March, okay? So after she was accused of using racist, homophobic, and bullying language in her interactions with former co-hosts. So they're not saying it just happened with Cheryl. They're pretty much saying she was a bully across the board to many of her co-hosts. And she faced backlash for the segment, like I told you earlier, in which she defended controversial comments from Piers Morgan, and she told the Daily Mail that she struggled tremendously after the fallout of that, because her and her husband went through a lot as a result of that. This whole cancel society is beastly and brutal. I think fans sometimes take things a little bit too far, and it's like, what, calm down. This is these people's situation. Let them deal with it. You don't need to jump in, and you most certainly shouldn't be jumping in threatening someone's life. Anyway, let's continue. So she said she definitely went through a difficult patch at the beginning. She told the Daily Mail. She found it was embarrassing. I'm sure it was embarrassing because, it's your character that you have to defend here. The humiliation that she said, she was humiliated for people to think that she was racist because she's not. That's what she's saying. Osbourne said that she and her husband Osby started getting death threats, which is insane, and they had to hire around the clock security as protection. The experience, she said, caused her to develop anxiety. I would develop anxiety too if someone is trying to come after me, and everywhere I go, Target, the supermarket, Walmart, or wherever, someone needs to be with me and protect me, and I gotta constantly look behind my back to make sure no one's coming after me. And her friend and former co-host. So this is important. This is when you know who your real friends are, the people that stick by you when you're in the midst of a storm. So Sarah Gilbert was a former co-host on the show. I really almost think, if I'm 100% remembering this story right, about how the show The Talk came about, Sarah Gilbert is the one that pitched the show to networks, and so she kind of started the show. I'm almost positive that she was the one that did that, and eventually she walked away from it. But anyway, she walked away from it, Sarah. But as we stated, Sharon Osbourne, got fired. So she suggested to Osbourne to try ketamine therapy treatments. So here you are, your true friend. She knows you're in a bad space, doesn't want to see you there. So, she suggested something that might be helpful. So Osbourne said, I went through 3 months of therapy, she said. I had the ketamine treatment and I got it all out. So your feelings have to go somewhere. I constantly say that, and that's really my theory. If you hold something inside that, you're scared about, that happened to you in your past, it's going to wreak havoc in your body. You got to get it out. Either you talk to a therapist, you talk to yourself at night, you write it out in a journal, but you got to get these feelings out. And that's what Sharon's saying here, that she did this ketamine therapy and she got all her feelings out. And I'm positive this happened under a doctor's direction. So as she was getting this therapy, she got to talk out her feelings, okay? She said, I had the ketamine treatment and I got it all out, all the tears and everything that I felt. She said, all of that is now gone. So she healed herself. Thank God. She said, ketamine is a medication used on patients as an anesthetic. But people also illegally use it to get high. And we do know about that, as it can put them in a relaxed or detached state or create hallucinations. So no one's saying to use this on your own and try to do your own therapy. You need to seek it through a doctor's care. But this particular therapy, it did help Sharon. She said, in recent years, though, researchers have started looking at ketamine therapy as a treatment for severe depression and anxiety, particularly for people who haven't had success on any other antidepressant medications. So it's not something that a doctor would suggest right away, but if a person is depressed, having anxiety, can't function, and they tried every other medication, this ketamine therapy is another option, okay? A 2019 study conducted at Massachusetts General Hospital found that patients with anxiety experienced lessened symptoms within 40 minutes after taking a low dose of the ketamine. That same year, the Food and Drug Administration approved a nasal spray that was derived from the ketamine as a medication for depression, okay? Taking straight ketamine as a treatment for depression, though, is not currently approved by the FDA. So she must have got, some treatment at some facility that was able to give it to her. So I guess this is not going to be regularly available to the common person, but if you can speak to your doctor, if you are in that state and they tried everything else, maybe they can help you find a facility where you can get it done. It is considered an off-label treatment, which is offered via an IV at some clinics under the direction of a doctor. Researchers are unsure exactly why ketamine appears to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, but they believe the drug goes to the end NMDA receptors in the brain, which can help neurons better communicate with each other and improve mood and thought patterns. According to Harvard Health, Osbourne said that the therapy helped her move past her exit from the talk, which CBS said was because her behavior did not align with their values. The TV personality said that she does not plan on going back into daytime television. She said, I'm not going on another TV show that talks because I know right now is not a safe place for me, she said. The slightest thing and you pissed off half the nation, and I don't want to put myself up for that grief. She said, I really don't. And that's terrible and it's pretty sad. But it's so true. It's like now, I don't know what happened, being able to just say your opinion, it seems like it's not acceptable anymore, because if it's not the popular opinion, people are ready to just pounce on you. And I think that is just so sad and so dangerous that we can't allow people to say their opinion. We don't have to agree. You can agree to disagree. You don't have to even believe what a person is saying, but they should be allowed to express, their thoughts and their feelings or whatever. As long as they're not directly saying to someone, I dislike you, I can't stand you, I think you should go wherever, or I think you should be, 6 feet under or whatever. They should be able to express what they're feeling. They should be able to express it even if it's not part of the popular opinion. But as for Sharon Osbourne, I watched the talk. I love watching talk shows, and I watched the talk a lot. And I definitely watched it when she was on there. And I saw it that day when they had the dreadful dispute, and and then all of the backlash that she received afterwards. I hate the fact to hear that her and her husband went through this and had to hire around-the-clock security. I also hate to hear that she went into like a severe depressive state where she had to even seek this treatment, this unorthodox treatment that is not yet approved by the FDA, in order to get out of it. But on the flip side, I'm glad she found some type of treatment to help her get out of it. I'm also glad that Sarah Gilbert, didn't fall into, the nonsense with everybody else. She's like, this is my friend. And when she spoke to her, she told her how to get help, because that for sure is a true friend. So I'll say this, I'm glad that Sharon is going to take care of herself and not go back into any type of talk show or anything like that and expose herself, because listen, dealing with the public and being in the public eye is not for the faint at heart. It's not for the weak at heart. You got to be so strong, because one day you can be the it person and the next day they can have you out. I mean, Chrissy Teigen is a perfect example of that. 1 minute she was the it girl, and then the next second, she was hit by the Cancel Society. Now, I'm not saying whether it was wrong, right, or indifferent. I'm just saying that going through that, being on that roller coaster ride of a high or low, everyone's personality would not be able to withstand something like that. I mean, Nick Cannon went through for a minute when they was trying to cancel him. So it's a very tough and difficult space to be in. I'm glad that she seems to have survived it. I'm also glad to know that, she's okay. She did her therapy, she cried it out, and she has moved, past it. I would love to see that one day, her and Cheryl Underwood kind of make amends and come together and figure this thing out, because listen, we are all human. No one's perfect. People make mistakes, and all can be forgiven, maybe, or should be. I mean, with this particular situation, I think between Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood, I think forgiveness can happen. I would love to see it get to that point. Well, anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you thought about this. How do you feel about this ketamine therapy that Sharon Osbourne had to go through? I am so glad that she found the option, because there are a lot of people that they don't find the option and they kind of suffer in silence. So anyway, God bless to Sharon Osbourne. you know, guys, at some point we all have done something where we needed mercy and forgiveness and grace. So I wish you well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will definitely chat back. And don't forget, or if you don't know, Wednesday nights, every Wednesdays at 9:15 p.m. I do a live Relationships Wednesdays on my channel, and I hope to see you there. Talk soon. Bye.